You can't see it, but I mean, you can see the spider, but you can't see my iPad. I was reading Spider-Man while a spider was crawling down my head. I thought it was pretty funny. I was going to take a photo and be like, hey, I'm reading Spider-Man and a spider's crawling on my face, but I couldn't take a photo of the iPad because it would have been obvious I had my phone out. Anyway, this Twitter is of 7 to 8 p.m. on Monday the 28th of February, March 2022. Sorry if you're arachnophobic.
And I'm Ryan Wolf. Our greatest responsibility is to serve our Treasure Valley communities, the El Paso, Las Cruces communities, Eastern Iowa communities, Mid-Michigan communities. We are extremely proud of the quality, balanced journalism that CBS 4 News produces. But we are concerned about treating irresponsible, one-sided news stories plaguing our country.
The sharing of biased and false news has become all too common on social media. More alarming, some media outlets publish these same fake stories without checking facts first.
The sharing of biased and false news has become all too common on social media. More alarming, some media outlets publish these same fake stories without checking facts first.
Unfortunately, some members of the media use their platforms to push their own personal bias and agenda to control exactly what people think. And this is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
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 Also, those are the same people that I don't know if talked about this before, but just go watch Trial and Error. That's the way the news works, because when it came to the Orlando nightclub shooter, all of the news was like, oh, he's homophobic. He's not homophobic. He was actually a closeted homosexual. Was obviously happening before the internet too, and was more insidious without the internet to help people connect with it. I'm sure that was used to push political and social messages. Sounds like large systems of control are a bad thing, and to be honest, we don't need a government. You didn't make an argument, you made an illogical leap to set up an appeal to emotion. There is nothing to refute. You're triggered because I called out your stupid crap. Social media is the only way to communicate. Do you realise that's not just false but stupid too? So your thing is to just call people triggered when you don't have an argument. Either refute what I said or remain internally seething. Let's go back to my original reply and answer my original question. Why do people say stupid crap like social media is the only way to communicate? Why don't you just answer the question? I already did hear I laughed your statement off with this analogy. You think the people being excluded from the overwhelming number of society and casting the talking to only a small number of people doesn't factor into your dumb statement, the empty room fallacy. So your question was answered a while ago, you were just too dumb to notice. And if I would ask you again to answer my question, but I realised that you are too dumb to do that too. No, that doesn't answer the question. You're avoiding answering honestly because the truth proves you wrong and exposes it was a stupid thing to say. Okay, I can tell I'm almost at the stage of breaking out the sock puppet, so I'll make this extremely simple. Let's say if I was a government and basically made homosexual public displays of affection illegal, and when people got mad at me, my response was, actually, gay people can still be gay in their own homes, not in public. It's not illegal, they can still do it, just not here. Well, yeah, technically true. I have still massively stifled an act of free expression, and an infringement has taken place. Now, the empty room fallacy is pretty much doing the same thing, but with speech, where I ban people from saying things in public, but they're free to say it out loud in an empty room. So not only am I obfuscating my actions by having the "but I didn't ban" excuse, but I'm achieving my end goal by removing the very purpose of speech itself, which is, wait for it, to communicate information. This is the trap you're employing against speech. You're using the exact same Weasley trap by not removing the speech, but it's functioning. This is now the part where you say, but this isn't government, because you don't understand what an analogy is, and please do. Excuse me. Sorry, I just had my dinner, which is just chips and orange juice. But anyway, don't understand what an analogy is, and please do that, because I have a meme I love using for such an occasion. You do what for a living? Say stupid things that aren't true? For if you don't know what town squares are and free speech are. Avoid giving honest answers to simple questions, or all the above. Avoid giving honest answers to simple questions. The sheer lack of self-awareness and rejection of this actually made me laugh. I'm the guy who goes to the European Parliament to talk about free speech and legislation. Because unlike you, I know what I'm talking about. I hope you don't make it an ass of yourself there and compare private companies and their terms of governments and their laws like you did here. You're still doing the meme. Not the Anon, but I have the IQ pills from that Fred in text. Well done. Did IQ research as a grad student, and it involved a lot of this stuff. Did you know that most people 95% plus with less than 90 IQ can't understand conditional hypotheticals, for example? How would you have felt yesterday evening if you hadn't eaten breakfast or lunch? What do you mean, I did eat breakfast and lunch? Yes, but if you had not, how would you have felt? Why are you saying that I didn't eat breakfast? I just told you I did. Imagine that you hadn't eaten it, though. How would you have felt? I don't understand the question. It's really fascinating. We did research on convicts in San Quentin. They're absolute retards. At least 50% illiterate. I'm part of that 50%. Anyway, man, way past my bedtime. It's been real. It's not even past your bedtime. It's your morning time now. Another logical hypothetical. Twitter's not a government. It's a private business with its own rights. They aren't making laws. Thank you for proving you're a moron. Holy crap, I didn't even finish and you did the meme. Right. Sorry I've repeated myself there. Oh no, there are two separate tweets. Is Sadie a giant? How's your ween half the size of your wife already? Small wife, big baby. What alts are you fundamentally bullish on for the next few weeks? Any alts on the radar for Catalyst? Arbif, whatever. I've never actually seen Lilo and Stitch. Using Sadie as an excuse to the Disney films I haven't seen. Princess and the Frog was actually really funny. Yeah, I'd probably do that as well, because I haven't seen a lot of Disney movies, and probably are some that I really love. In fact, before I played Kingdom Hearts, I think the only ones that I'd watched were like Jungle Book and Aladdin and a few others, but now I've seen like... There's this really, like, one that no one really talks about called Sword in the Stone that was good. About the story of Merlin and King Arthur and all. Anyway. what evidence do you have of collusion? So all these companies on all their own just so happen to ban health streams on the same day. All of them, by talking to each other, just so happen to do it on the same day. Man, what are the odds? Thank you for the Pringles, Ranny. Marcus finally getting what he deserves. Now hold on a minute. I really hope that's not footage from hentai. Oh hey, you're finally awake, coronavirus? Joe Biden, I don't know what you're talking about. Joe Rogan is president. The list of people have invaded, and General Alex Jones has ordered us to the front. Let's get moving. LMAO, seriously? For a joke about a haircut? Stealing. And it wasn't about a haircut, it was about the fact she had a condition or something. During the commercial break, Will Smith pulled a second, comforted by Denzel Washington and Tyler Perry, in motion for him to brush it off. Will appears to wipe tears from his eyes as he sits back now with Jada, with Denzel comforting Jada and Will's rep by his side. Would we be able to use this footage on BBC News? No. What, does she work for BBC News or something? LMAO. When someone insults your gardener's girlfriend's haircut. Marcus, come on, it's 4:03 AM. Got carried away playing Ghost Farms, but I haven't got carried away waking up Sadie. I can't believe it's been nearly 50 minutes. Now, I heard that Russia was pulling out of some places, so what are they like? I feel like they're playing risk at this point, because I think what they're doing is that they're pulling out of certain places and putting all those people in other places, so like doubling their troops. I don't know. I'm just going to say Mariupol and Kiev, because there are only two places in the Ukraine that I know. Say that they had half their forces in Kiev and half their forces in Mariupol. And then, I don't know if they pulled out of Kiev, but they are pulling out of other places. Say they pull out of Kiev. But actually, the reason that why they're pulling out of Kiev is just so that all those soldiers can go to Mariupol. I'm guessing that's what's happening. Yeah, see, Ricky Gervais made fun of Mel Gibson's alcoholism, racism, and domestic issues 4 feet away from him. Mel just laughed. What does Harvey Weinstein have to do with Chris Rock or getting punched? Yeah, you really shouldn't start comparing Will Smith to Harvey Weinstein just because both of them were being a prick. I'm a prick, but I'm not on the level of a literal predator. Now, I'm going to read this in my natural accent because Frankie Boyle lost his, and he probably speaks closer to my voice than he does, than he used to. So now we've got Boris Johnson, an evolutionary dead end of the honey monster, a bin bag of all albino body parts, a cross between the Incredible Hulk and Haribo fried egg, is the goddamn Prime Minister. It's the Prime Minister. It's not that he's the worst person for the job, but he might be the worst mammal. Okay. Oh, and get rid of Insulate Britain. People died because of them. Right. But when I said that Insulate Britain was causing deaths, what I mean is that, like, they they want to stop people from driving cars because of carbon emissions and climate change and all that. And the way they did that was that they drove and they like parked their cars sideways in the middle of the road, so it's impossible for a car to get across. But there were like a bunch of ambulances and stuff trying to go across that road, but they couldn't because of the car, and then because they couldn't get to the hospital in time, the patients died. So Insular Britain need to pull back and try something else because they're just leading to more deaths. Kristen Stewart wore shorts at the Oscars instead of a dress. So what? Like, there wasn't a rule for the Oscars saying all the women need to wear dresses. She probably isn't even the first person to not wear, first woman to not wear a dress at the Oscars. And Ricky Gervais, I'm guessing it's talking about him, talking about Mel Gibson. Let me look at this clip. I wasn't able to find the clip that Ricky had posted out, but Ethan Klein, of all people, saying Will Smith won and got a standing ovation. I mean, the show went on like nothing happened. Will Smith punched a comedian for doing his job. He's a celebrity in the front row of the Oscars where it's normal to be roasted, bad taste or not. Defending Will equal brain rot. Somehow everyone loved Ricky Gervais roasting the crap out of celebrities with way worse jokes, but also applaud Will Smith for punching Chris Rock. Like, come on, y'all really? With the absolute brain rot? Well, here's the thing. The difference between what Ricky Gervais did in 2020 and what Chris Rock did now is you're wrong, because the people that Ricky Gervais made fun of, they hated Ricky Gervais for it. They were very subtle about it. The evidence actually comes from the 2021 Oscars where they got two irrelevant people, Amy Poehler and Tina Fey, and they repeated what Ricky said about the Hollywood Foreign Press, that they're racist and all that, but they didn't make a joke about it because they're serious. Yeah. And then another thing is that, like, the reason why Will Smith did it is because he's a simp